everybody. This is Alain from ReverseThieves.com, as well as the Speakeasy podcast. And this is another Riot Control review. This time, I'm looking at Karen Senki from Next Media Animation, which is streaming on Crunchyroll. And I have to say that I almost missed reviewing this one. I didn't see it easily on the anime chart that I was looking on, but apparently it is a web series, a ONA, and so it might have been in like the OAV section, or maybe they just missed it. I mean, it's a little easy to overlook, but Crunchyroll picked it up, and I figured, why not give this a shot? And recently I found out that Ruby, if anybody's seen that Rooster Teeth show that really feels anime, so much that it's streaming on Crunchyroll. It's been licensed to play in Japan. It's got a Japanese dub track, so it's, basically got the position of that anime does here in the US. A lot of people were wondering, so is that going to catch on? Are we going to see shows like Ruby out of Japan? And if Karen Senki is correct, yes, we will. At least in the ONA market, this really feels like somebody saw Ruby and said, I could do better. Which I think other people have had that thought seeing Ruby as well. But this definitely seems to take from that. The general plot is that our main heroine, Karen, used to live with her little sister in this world that has, advanced robots. But eventually the robots have turned against humanity. And so humanity is making a valiant and last stand against the robots. And Karen is one of the best people at killing robots. But there seems to be some greater story in which the humans, or at least certain humans, and certain robots have collaborated so that the robots take over but preserve parts of humanity. This war is kind of artificial, but there seems to be people on both sides who are in the know and not in the know, who want to end the war once and for all. And they've targeted Karen as being too good at her job of robot killing. This show, I think, is best summed up by my roommate as if Michael Bay decided to animate a anime series, because every few minutes there just has to be a fight scene. I think at the end, when we're seeing like the guy who orchestrated the whole robot revolution in the second episode, because I watched the first two episodes, they were really short, they're only like 10 minutes, is like the longest amount of time we have where there is not a fight scene. And they made sure that that episode had a long shower scene and a spy robot that seemed very particular in making sure that every few minutes it got a shot of Karen's posterior. As like, alright man, we're gonna do some world building, so I'm going to make up with it with lots of action and fan service, as opposed to our normal MO, which is just lots of action. But yeah, the show seems loath not to have Karen just fighting robots all the time. She'll just be cooking dinner, and in the middle of her meal, boom, robot fight, boom, 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 boom. Or she'll be picking up some supplies from a depot, and boom, 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 robot fight. She could be like, finally, time for me to start reading a book. And she'll be like, in the beginning, boo, 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 robot fight. So, I mean, the robot fights aren't bad. There's still a little bit of stiffness to the CG, especially when it's not a fight scene. And unlike Ruby, they at least take the time to animate and fully draw the characters in the background. But it's still better than CG you've seen before, but not anywhere where you want it to be. And I feel like, once again, that's where Japan keeps getting better, but they still have not gotten their CG to the point where you're like, wow, this is just as good as a traditional anime. But I feel like Karen Senki, at least once again, shows a little bit more progress. The action can be kinetic when it wants to be. It's still missing some of the life and some of the weight of traditional animation. Unlike Ruby, that had those painful scenes of quote-unquote comedy, this show mostly dispenses with that. It does just kind of feel like a shut off your brain and watch for the action. And if you don't like the action, you're totally not going to like it because the show will not let you forget that it has it. And I mean, the story about, man versus machine is pretty standard. I don't think they do anything super weird, although it might imply that she's going to get a robot sister to replace her actual sister who died. In fact, it seems like not all the robots are against humanity. There still seems to be kind of like servitor robots that are on humanity's side, but they haven't fully explored that yet. I'm sure that'll become a big talking point later on. I don't really recommend this show, but it's short enough that if you're just curious or you don't have anything to do, you can pop it in. It really has no substance in my mind. And, man versus machine and, how far technology has progressed, that can be really deep. This isn't. I feel for all the criticism people have against stuff like Appleseed, this is that times 2. It's not horrible. It's just nothing spectacular. All right, see you guys next time.